in this new age where people are building
Hmm.
AI native products or products with AI capabilities, what is different, what has changed? How are you finding that particular experience, and what do you see as some of the interesting learnings that you've had since you started exploring this part of product
Got it.
development?
So one thing what at least I've noticed, right? So AI is good, AI is there, but I think it is only as good as it can augment the human at any given time, right? So for example, where AI is not in a state where it can do a lot of work on its own, right? So that's one thing which is very clear. And the second aspect is whenever you are driving something, like take it as closer to the human and hand it over to the human, right? So currently there are major use cases where I see AI play a big role is okay, there is a lead qualification. Okay, I have like a millions of leads. My human is not able to call them. Like how can AI help? So qualify those leads so that give only like qualified leads to the human so that the bottom of the funnel conversion is good and better. So that's one area. And there are like very frequently asked questions around like where is my order and others in the e-commerce sector where AI can play a role. So there are places where AI is getting deployed and it is actually doing part of the human work and then it is actually handing it over to the human. And there are even all the companies and enterprises are comfortable still in human closing the like the end, like the terminal state should be driven by human, like the closure, etc. So that's one. However, one thing what I'm also noticing is when you introduce AI as one part of the work only, right? So there is the switching costs are extremely high. So you need to build some part of the jobs to be done, and you need to take over the jobs to be done and make it
Right.
outcome driven. So that is one thing which I'm noticing it very, very clearly. Like uh, it's not like a telecom provider where you can charge for a minute pricing, etc. You need to actually have kind of an outcome based approach because at the end of the day, you are selling agent. It's an agentic workforce which you are selling. And I spoke to a few of the users and the customers where they say they go to AI because it is going to give them like unlimited scale,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that's why
Right.
people go to AI. So that means there is some sort of a job that they expect the AI to do. And like when we are building an AI agent, we need to figure out like what is that job that needs to be done. And the second aspect is, especially if you are building for India, right? And there are infra constraints, right? Because we are relying on Azure, Google, or 11 Labs, or all the other players. So where they all have a seal, right? Unless you give any upfront commitment, they will not be able to provide you a lot of scale, right? How to think from the scalability perspective when you are building an AI agent is a very, very strong question. Anybody who is thinking about building AI, they need to answer this question first, like what are they building and how will they solve for scale, which is what the customers want. They want to solve for that infinite workforce and how will you solve for it? So that's one addition. Like that's the second point, which I am thinking deeply about.
Understood. And before you leave us today, Karthik, any closing thoughts from your side? The product management has become probably one of the most popular career tracks, right? And skill sets that people at various different points in their career are working on, right? I mean, people transition into product after operations experience, people get into it after roles in investing, people come into it from, transition from growth to product. It's like super popular as an opportunity.
Yeah,
So you've been there, done that in from a product perspective in a way that is like incredibly envious, right? You were there at all of the top companies that were building products sort of in their hyperscale years, whether it was like at Grow, at
yeah.
Flipkart, LinkedIn. So any advice for aspiring or practicing product managers who are in the community, in the audience? Any thoughts that you'd like to share with
So
them as we
absolutely,
close today?
absolutely right. So one thing I would say, and at least I notice the product managers who are coming in. So generally, there is more inclination towards okay, hey, I need to have a customer or user facing products, right? Oh, I need to build search, I need to build, or I need to build the product page, etc. However, I think product management is not only the user-facing aspect of it. It is a combination of multiple things, right? So there has to be good tech understanding. Like platform product is understanding the platform is very, very important. Understanding, as I mentioned, understanding operations is very, very important. Because today PhonePe is successful not because of the user experience, it's because of the success rate of transactions that it provides. So whenever you take PhonePe and do, so the product manager who is building that is not only optimizing for the customer experience, they understand the tech stack underneath, and then they are optimizing for the success rate. How can I make the success rate of every transactions high? And as I mentioned, when you are building for logistics or catalog or fulfillment or even customer support, right? You need to have a deeper operational understanding of what are all the activities that the user does, so that you can build a product for them and then make them more efficient. And so it's not about automating and replacing humans, because today they are able to serve 100 requests. As you scale, at some point there will be 1,000 requests. So how will you use the same set of people and serve 1,000 requests is something which we need to think about. Thinking for scale comes when you are thinking about the operational products. So I think more than customer experience, people should also spend what is under the hood and what are all the other nuances. And there are category product managers who actually optimize for the profitability of a category. They need to
Right.
understand what that category means, what are all the nuances of a category, how people purchase, etc. So each area requires a deeper thinking, and customer experience is one aspect of it. However, there are other things everybody should focus on. Maybe like pick one, right? If you want to go deeper into technology, there is a platform product manager role which people can look for. There is an operational or a business product manager role, so people can choose out of it. And along with product management, hard skills, understand other hard skills around product manager as well, so that you can shape your career better.